This Monday Night Football props and NFL Week 8 recap edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers where you can win 100x. Plus, every Sunday they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Plus, the MMA Gambling Podcast just launched their YouTube channel. To celebrate, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie for all the details.
Hey, it's Peyton Manning, and you're listening to SGPN. Let's ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Tour's back on.
Oh, what tour?
The fuck off Sean tour.
Oh,
It's a new tour.
What?
This is like the Eras tour.
What? I was specifically gonna go out of my way not to mention
The negative yard pass, the negative 9 yards passing. You weren't going to mention that.
Wait, that was the New York Giants.
Tommy DeVito failing for all Italian Americans. You're laughing at that. Like a real, I don't want to call you a racist because that might be crossing the line.
Yeah.
And Italian American isn't a race, but feels a little bit racist.
No, I
feels a little bit racist.
I was not going to bring up the fact that you were celebrating. I told you not to bet on Zach Wilson. You idiot. Zach Wilson sucks. They're never going to win this game. And then,
they won the game, and then Brian Dable lost the game.
Wow. Finally, the heat comes for Brian Dable.
Well, someone lost the game in the decision-making process.
Well, was it the decision-making process, or was it Graham Gano?
Well, playing Graham Gano when he was hurt, probably not a good decision. Again, this whole player safety bullshit that you keep trotting out, and then you play a hurt kicker. The fuck's wrong with you? You play a quarterback. Why have the guy on the roster? You're not going to have him throw the forward pass. Why have him on the roster? These are. I don't want to take it to the youth soccer streets, but these are basic coaching decisions.
Yeah.
If you go into a game without a backup goalie or a plan and then it happens, that's on you. Never happened to me. Never happened to me. Not in a single youth soccer game.
Are you
always had a plan?
Are you a better coach than Brian Dable?
I'm a better coach than a lot of these nimwits. I will say there's obviously a CEO aspect and like a schmoozing political aspect to being a head coach in the National Football League, but 100% in-game decision making. Willing to take, I'll take the test every weekend. I feel like in our command center, we could make on average, on aggregate, better decision than the average NFL coach. I would say even the above average NFL coach. I think we're making better decisions.
I agree
with the hive brain of Yumi and Decker.
Let's go, Justin Decker.
So lots of coaches fail on that test.
Justin Decker celebrating the big Chargers win. Our Circa Survivor moves on. Unfortunately, tough week overall for the Circa Millions. We'll get into where we went wrong, where we went right.
That's playing chess right there too, by the way.
What do you mean?
Well, I tricked you into moving on from talking about how shitty the Giants are.
Do you want to do the full Giants recap?
No, that was genius. You got bored with the segment, moved on. So let's keep going.
Jets 13, Giants 10.
A certain sector of the audience is going to love that.
You were right. The entire week you're
the
like,
game
you're
was
so
over.
dumb.
The game was
you
over.
Bet on
the
Zach
game was
Wilson.
over. The game was over. The game was over.
And
the game was over twice.
You are always,
I was right. You get off your horse. Get off your I was right horse. You weren't right. You were wrong. Nothing about your handicap was right, except for Breece Hall having one big play.
Giants was a good angle. Fine. Breece Hall having one big play as predicted. That's also
this is
what
the fans love about you.
What? That I'm always right?
Yep. You're only right.
No, I was definitely wrong about some stuff.
Only right.
We'll get into the Rams.
Sean
Cowboys.
only right green.
We'll get into the Rams Cowboys debacle, but
Sean only right green.
I was right to not trust this poorly coached team. It's a poorly coached team, right? I think we have to come to terms.
And everyone that was on the Cardinals were on the right side too.
No, that's a completely different game.
Okay. Same situation, same win probability.
No,
same ridiculous course of events that resulted in that outcome.
100% no, because the
what are you talking
the Cardinals
about?
recovered.
Zach Wilson hadn't completed a pass 15 yards downfield on that play
the Cardinals
shut up and
recovered.
listen.
I'm
on
listening.
that play where Garrett Wilson drew a flag.
Yes,
go back and watch. Dexter Lawrence gets tackled. Again, I'm not complaining, but a bunch of crazy ass shit happened. Which generally you would agree, but not Sean. Only right green. He disagrees.
I recovered an onside kick to kick a garbage field goal to cover.
Were you unlucky in the Baltimore game?
Was I unlucky? No, because the Baltimore had multiple chances to close them out, but the Harbaugh chose to put.
That's all right.
Harbaugh. This is a great comparison. Harbaugh made the
I'm
poor
actually moved
coaching
on to.
decision.
I moved on to week 9.
Harbaugh put out Nelson Aguilar on the hands team. You get what you deserve.
Nelson Aguilar is one of their best receivers. What are you talking about,
dude? He is not a guy with great hands.
No, but he's made a lot of catches for that team.
But
and we always joke about how Nelson Aguilar scoring touchdowns.
He's no, dude. He is a guy with notorious.
No, I understand. There's an internet meme about his bad hands.
Yes,
literally not catching babies.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not a guy on your hands.
That's not. It's
the hands team is guys for great secure hands.
You haven't played receiver. I mean, that's not even close to the poor decision making on the New York Giants. It's not even close.
No, I'm saying
recovering an onside kick in today's NFL is an insane long shot. That's all I was saying.
I'm pointing out that
just like Graham Gano missing 2 field goals and the Giants somehow running out the clock, but not running out the clock. Yeah.
Ryan's on tilt, full tilt, Ryan.
And then Zach Wilson completing 3 passes longer than any passes he had completed in the game previous. But you were on the right side, Sean.
Always right. I mean, I wasn't going to be bragging, but the fact that you just went out of your way to
not bragging,
ridicule me the entire week, I didn't make it a best bet. I wasn't laying a bunch of money on the Jets.
But you're drawing attention how you were still wrong. You were right, but you were wrong.
All right.
That's how it works.
Well, it was a push on when we graded it. So congrats on the push, Ryan. Congrats on the push.
Just they don't even need to come out and play football next week. They're supposed to come to Vegas.
Cash Juno saying this episode gone the way of the notorious. Let's see what we have in Nate Sudfeld episode.
Again, Sean always right green. That takes aged well.
I mean, you're taking
that night aged well.
You're taking it out on me. Nate Sudfeld
taking what out?
Nate Sudfeld's still in the league, and I thought it was a good choice to get a look at. And they realized Nate Sudfeld not the guy, and they moved on to franchise quarterback Jalen Hurts. Great night in Eagles history, almost as great as the pizza over at Little Caesars.
Horrible transition.
All right. Well, you know what's a great transition? Transitioning from hanging out by yourself watching football and hanging out enjoying a delicious Little Caesars pizza. You know, a couple of my sorry, Ryan spilled a LaCroix all over the table. He is full tilt. But hey, I didn't have the greatest day of picks, but you know what makes it feel a little bit better? That delicious pretzel crust pizza. Was chomping down on some pretzel crust with pepperoni piled high. Oh man, just the delicious salty meats they put on there. They deliver it to you. I grew up back in the day. It was before Little Caesars even had delivery. Now it's so easy. You can order online during our pizza pregame 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day Sunday, and get ready for some football and some fun. Getting the Little Caesars wings. Got us some crazy bread. The deep dish style pizza that looks really good as well. The cookie dough brownie bites. You can get a paper towel, right? All right.
I don't need a paper towel.
Sorry, just enjoy. Ryan's angry at the LaCroix spelled.
Who's angry?
No, clearly you aren't angry, and clearly you could use a Little Caesars Pizza pick me up, delivery or in store in our pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game or after the game when you really need to get your mood in a better place. Little Caesars Pizza.
I see cereals on the line. Definitely not pushing that button. Maybe later.
Yeah, we can talk to.
Maybe later. Maybe when we talk about the Cowboys.
Nick Green saying elite ad read. Thank you, Nick.
And now I'm going to actually switch the show since some people don't show up to work every day. All right, we're ready to go.
All right, ready to fire. Saints 38, Colts 27. This Colts team is just, the defense is just a complete sieve. Taysom Hill, great game as far as best ball. Shaheed, kicking ourselves for not putting him into our DraftKings lineup. Also, yeah, I mean Kamara. We had some discussions about Kamara earlier on. Didn't get him in the lineup. Any thoughts on this 38-27 win for the Saints?
I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but if you go, yeah, that was one of the worst beats of my weekend. Is probably winning the big boy with the lineup I didn't submit. You know, just par for the course at this point. Nothing to add here. I don't know. I don't understand how the Colts went from having a defense to not having a defense. Yeah, and the Saints continue to be a team I just can't get right.
No, and the Saints are I mean, I was going back and forth all week before I picked the Saints. Didn't feel great about them. Wasn't gonna put them in the contest or lock them up or anything. But Derek Carr 310 passing yards, 2 tutties. Taysom Hill 9 carries, 63 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also added a catch for 14 yards.
Like there's multiple teams that are going to get their ass beat in the first round of the playoffs this year.
It does feel. I think this is
so many bad quarterbacks playing football. So many bad. Like we were already discussing the separation earlier in the season before teams started falling to the wayside. Like I don't have a good analogy that's appropriate for the airwaves, but yeah, it's insane because the middle class is getting destroyed by injured quarterbacks.
It kind of reminds me of college where we're looking at the NFL. There's one lost team, and then there's a bunch of other teams that are they're 2 lost teams, but they still don't look great. I mean, if you were to break down some power rankings right now, you could have an awesome argument. I think 1 through 10 as far as who the top 10 teams are in the NFL.
I mean, it's going to come down to what week they're playing.
No,
at this point, because I don't know if this is becoming some like extremely small sample aggregate, but why are we having all these injuries? Why are we having all of these injuries to critical positions that are irreplaceable? How are these teams so like they're not ready? Most teams aren't ready with a backup quarterback, let alone a third string. Why is that? Why is it affecting the league more than ever? I'm being serious. Like forget the Giants situation.
Oh, okay.
Think of all the teams that are dealing with subpar quarterback situations and another injury away from being just a disaster. Like what do you think the Vikings are going to be next year?
Well, yeah, Vikings. Unfortunately, it looks like Kirk Cousins out for the year with a torn Achilles.
Like how is all of this happening? And Jameis Winston is not a starting quarterback. It just seems like I don't know. Maybe we got to look.
I think. If we're being honest, it's tough to find 32 guys who are really good at playing quarterback in the NFL at that elite level.
Why is that?
Because it's really hard. I think it continues.
But why else is that? Like what has changed that has caused it to get worse?
I don't think it's ever changed. I just think we're more aware of it. There were always shitty teams that you would just write off that would get injuries, but you wouldn't be aware of it because you're not watching 8 games.
Rules
at the same time.
Have gotten more ridiculous than ever to protect the quarterback.
Yeah,
Why are they getting more hurt?
I don't think they are getting more hurt. I think if you looked at quarterback injuries this year, I think it's actually down by a lot. I feel like
it would depend how you measure that, but
I feel like you could look
season-ending stuff is what I'm talking.
Yeah,
about.
I feel like you could look at previous years as far as season-ending stuff, and this year is actually really good.
So we're just running into a lot of teams with no plan.
Well, who is out for the season? I mean, Kirk Cousins. Yes,
Kirk Cousins comes to mind because their backup is just. Who's their backup? This is a great point, right?
Well, no, I mean Jaron Hall's the rookie. They might play him, they might not. But yeah, I don't know what they'll do.
How many people who watch every game in the National Football League know who the fuck Jaron Hall is? I mean, it's just like we're at a point where I think it's the practice time, probably the lack of practice time to prepare a backup, the lack of game time to allow them to play.
Who are the other big name quarterbacks that are out for the year? I think actually
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers
holding on by a thread. Daniel Jones, Tyrod holding on by a thread.
Daniel
Third
Jones,
string comes in, boom, dead.
No, that's not. I mean, we're
Desmond
talking
Ritter concussion. We're on Taylor Heineke.
We can't talk about no name guys. As far as like big name quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers out for the year. Other than that, I think it's been a pretty clean year quarterback wise.
All right.
I mean, I could go back and look at other years where there were multiple guys.
I mean,
out for the year.
Derek Carr has been playing like with some serious injury for a while.
I'm saying if you compare this year to other quarterback years,
we'll do a study, but we have nothing more to say that it feels worse this year, but I guess
I don't feel that.
Okay. Bad quarterback play and part of that being quarterbacks were playing guys who aren't. I mean, the Brown situation. Sure, Deshaun Watson you can put in the same class as Daniel Jones, but the backup still is not an NFL quarterback.
But I don't think it's impacting their team that much.
Okay. They just happen to have like an all-world defense.
Yeah, and I think you saw it in the Colts game. Like they were almost doing worse with Deshaun Watson in there. PJ Walker came in, kind of steadied the ship, and they got the win. Similar vibe here in Seattle, where their defense kept them around. Yeah, they never had a good quarterback, regardless of whether a banged up Deshaun Watson or PJ Walker played. I don't think there's a big difference between those two.
Gardner Minshew is going to be starting for the rest of the year. I'm just saying there's a lot of like not good quarterbacks playing in the National Football League this year. And a lot of it is because they're like these subpar backups and guys are getting hurt.
I don't think there's ever a year where there's like awesome backups.
Okay. I mean, then sure, but we can move on. There's just there's definitely a lot more backup quarterbacks and bad quarterback play this year than of recent memory.
All right. Yeah.
That's why there's so much shit football. We're talking about these low point totals that comes with bad quarterback play. This is the lowest scoring output in like over a decade.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe there's something going on. Panthers 15, Texans 13. Panthers. We thought, hey, new OC coming in. He's not going to revitalize the offense. I think we were right on that part. We were wrong on the idea of Houston being able to put up points. Like CJ Stroud really struggled moving the ball. Panthers just couldn't get it done. I mean, they had a chance maybe late, but yeah, CJ Stroud didn't look good. I mean, Bryce Young didn't look great either. Adam Thielen's still a big part of the offense there. I don't know. No big takeaways here. To me, it was if you were on the Panthers, it was always going to be, hey, they were just finally due to get a win. They were finally due to get a cover, and that's kind of what the game felt like. It didn't look like they played good at all. Honestly.
There were some fortunate. I mean, there was a segment of the game where it was like they had like 12 plays within the 10-yard line and only came up. They got some opportunities. There were some more hands-on officiating, and not to say Houston was gonna get this one and get the cover, but certainly some between the couple penalties the Panthers got inside the red zone to end up getting the touchdown to that and get to 12 points. And then what happened to Houston on that final drive where they're almost certainly getting a field goal and then they get pushed back due to some fucking horse shit. And now they punt instead of take that field goal. And so does the game change if they're down 4 instead of 1 for the Panthers there? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this isn't one where it's like, it's annoying because a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, baby, Panthers home dog. They had fleas. They still have. I would take Houston again right now. Knowing what I know about
they got their win out of the way. I'm not changing what I think of the Carolina Panthers based off that game. Philadelphia Eagles 38, Washington Redskins 31. Eagles get the win and the cover at 6.5. That's what we picked it at. Eagles offense looked really good. AJ Brown continues to dominate. Dog. I mean, my ticket for AJ Brown offensive player of the year is looking pretty good. Jalen Hurts balled out 4 touchdowns. 300 yards, had the unfortunate fumble there right at the goal line. I mean, really, this Eagles probably should have won by more, but Hurts fumbling on the tush push there going in, fumbling on the snap, and then Kenny Gainwell fumbling inside the 5 really kind of threw off the score. And otherwise, I think they get out by even a bigger margin. Defense didn't look great. I don't know. Sam Howell, for whatever reason, looks really good against this Eagles defense, but it felt pretty good here for the Eagles. Get the nice division win, moving on to the Cowboys next week, and moving on 6-1.
I mean, maybe Sam Howell is trying to get Ron Rivera fired. Because the offense switches on and off from looking great to looking like a just giant catastrophe. It was what I said in the preview. I think the second he gets pressured, everything goes to shit. But when he wasn't getting pressured, it was looking unbelievably good. Not the same team that played the Giants last week. That's
well,
sure.
it just must be it's just a classic division flowchart thing where for whatever reason they know how to scheme up well against the Eagles defense. And shout out if you watch VSiN, I gave out Julio Jones anytime touchdown plus 800. Dog. That was a nice bet that really saved my slate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand so many things about this matchup. I also don't understand on defense how you don't just stop AJ Brown. Maybe 2 people on AJ Brown. Nope. We're just gonna sit back in our zone. We're just gonna sit back in the same zone that I don't understand what their defensive plan is. They just sit in a zone and let you pick them apart. That's what they didn't change. If they change at all in that second half, maybe they don't have enough time to come back. Maybe AJ Brown isn't open on the same fucking passing routes every time.
I don't know if he's even open half the time. Like he just works himself open.
He's open in the sense that he's open, and maybe most quarterbacks don't throw that pass, but Jalen Hurts is like, fucking, I'm going to throw it.
Yeah.
But again, it's because it's the same. Like, go watch the all 22. I guarantee they're sitting in the same fucking coverage every time. It's unbelievable.
No,
like, how do you not? Ron Rivera's fired on Monday, right?
AJ Brown 8 for 130, 2 touchdowns.
Someone's fired on Monday, right?
Shout out to AJ Brown winning us our high stakes fantasy league, putting the team on his back. Rams 20, Cowboys 43. I'll say this early on. It seemed, hey, all right, this Rams seemed a little frisky, playing some good defense, couple penalties, and then Cowboys get the early touchdown, and then they just boat raced the Rams.
They no-showed.
Rams, you're right, complete no-show.
It's like the baby jokes have been made, but come on.
Stafford ended up getting banged up. They couldn't even get some garbage yards. They put in Brett Rippon. This was just, yeah, I keep being high on this Rams team, and I need to back off it because they just suck.
I'll let Serial comment on his team. I got nothing to add. Rams no showed, very disappointing. I feel that way about a couple teams I bet on this week. Like I said, I'm already on to week 9 because I had to put some of these emotions in a box. Some teams might be on probation, but anyway, Serial, say some nice things about the Cowboys.
I mean, what's there to say? This is what good teams are supposed to do.
Oh wow, not even that happy about the win. I like that.
No, I'm
Business
not happy
trip.
about this one. There's one coming up next week that
Yeah.
I'm looking more forward to. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, guy? You get a little nervous coming up here next week?
Oh no. I love facing the Cowboys after a major win where they're smelling themselves, where the media is going to be, oh, hey, Dallas Cowboys, maybe they're the team to beat in the NFC. Coming to Philly, Serial. We'll be waiting. Lincoln Financial Field. We'll have a warm seat for Dakota Rain Prescott. And it's clear with this Cowboys
I hope
team.
he looks as great as Sam Howell does.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, I'll take that. A 7-point win and cover. I'll take that all day.
Sam
Cyril,
Howell did
that's the
shred
thing.
you.
Listen.
Oh,
Do you know what
shred
the
us.
Eagles
All
are
right,
against
come on.
Dak? Almost as bad as the Giants.
Oh.
When was last? You got? Come on.
When's the last
no.
one? What do I mean?
No.
Put 40 points on that defense. What's up, dog?
Bring up the tattoo. Bring up the tattoo.
Yeah, I'll get a VCR out and then we can talk NFC Championship highlights. For
Oh
you, Cyril.
wow.
Oh, nice. You're one. Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh
See,
no, we've won a couple NFC championships, so we've only won one Super Bowl championship, and unlike you guys, it was in the past 20 years.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah,
That's a lot of history you got there.
that is a tough one to overcome. the recency thing. It's annoying.
Serial, worst of luck with the Cowboys. They did beat the Rams.
One thing I will agree on Serial with was this Eagles Super Bowl never needed to happen. Things were better before.
100%.
It's like the pandemic.
I do got to ask you guys something though.
What's that?
I mean, are the Jets really this tough to beat? Come on, guys. You're making our division look bad.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you bring that up against Ryan?
It's just a non-conference.
It's both
loss.
you guys. Wasn't it back-to-back weeks? Both you lost.
There was a bye week. There was a bye week in between, and I think Zach Wilson could fuck up this Cowboys team. So look out, Serial.
I was gonna share this later, but I did receive the memo. This is a tank. This is a tank. So I'm Jets.
Oh wait.
Yeah, the Jets winning was actually the worst thing they could do because then it just gave the Giants a better draft pick.
Oh, the Giants are tanking?
I'm hearing some rumblings.
Are they going to get a quarterback?
I'm hearing some rumblings.
They already have 2 quarterbacks, Tyrod.
Well,
quote unquote.
Include Tommy DeVito in that, please. If they would only let him throw the ball down the field.
Well, thanks for calling in, Serial. And again, like I said, worst of luck next week.
We'll see.
Serial's very confident. I like that.
He's smelling himself. That's when you want to face the Cowboys, when they're confident, when they're feeling good, when they're flying high. Hey, reminder, if you guys haven't already, sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Love the Underdog Pick'em. We're going to be talking about some of our fantasy football pick'ems, higher and lowers, later on for the Monday night slate. Of course, they're giving away $100,000 on Sundays. I mean, come on. 10K to each person, to 10 separate people. It really is a great deal. Highly recommend Underdog Fantasy. The pick'em's great. If you're just hanging around, you're like, I want a little action on this game. They have live pick'em as well, which is a fun way. Maybe a couple of your bets are already cashed. Totally. Like, let's say you bet on the Rams, and you're like, all right, this is out the window. Hey, what's a good way to get in on the action late with some Underdog Fantasy Pick'em? Their live projections and live lines are super fun as well. Make sure you head over to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code SGPN. Get a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. That's right. And a little bonus here: MMA Gambling Podcast just launched their YouTube channel. In honor, we're giving away a MMA Gambling Podcast hoodie to one lucky winner. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/MMA hoodie to submit your entry today, and make sure you subscribe to the MMA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. Love a good fight, Ryan. Love a good fight.
Yeah, and also if you are one of the few ladies that listen or watch our show, Gumby and Jeff, very good looking. Very good looking.
Oh wow, Ryan.
Yeah.
Are you worried our other people who work for us are going to be upset that you're calling out how hot Gumby and we were talking about the Noah Beanick calendar. Oh, well, yes.
I think we really have to do a host of SGPN.
We do need a Noah calendar.
No, let's just go host of SGPN. I'll pick the 12 sexiest hosts.
Oh man, I'm already thinking of some great photo shoots. We got the man in the box, CJ Sullivan in there.
How do you know he's going to be one of my 12 sexiest?
We got Scott Reichel, Moonoff, all
Scott's definitely in there.
A lot of hunks hosting here at SGPN, ourselves included.
I probably wouldn't.
I'll go shirtless for the calendar if needed.
Wow. Okay. What do you? Pat McAfee over here.
Yeah,
just trying to get the audience
to YouTube
off.
ratings. New England Patriots 17, Miami Dolphins 31. We were all on the Dolphins here, or sorry, the Patriots plus 9.5. Kind of an annoying outcome because I like the Pats. It felt a little high, that number, and then they were always kind of hanging around. And then it felt like, and shout out to the Dolphins, who are probably a pretty good team, sleptwalked through a division game where they were clearly looking ahead to the Chiefs in Germany and still won by 14 and covered the 9.5. That was my big takeaway.
Yeah. They almost like they had a plan for this game. They left right after for Germany too. They weren't looking ahead quite like Mr. Reed and his sausages. I mean, is this team going to turn out to be really fucking good, or are they going to just no show in a critical moment? Because it seems like,
I don't know. I mean, when
it seems like they haven't played their best ball yet.
On the road, they struggled in New England. They struggled in Buffalo. They struggled in Philly. This Germany test, I think, will be a huge test for them. Not only neutral field, but also playing against the Chiefs. So I think I think we'll maybe get a little better test against this Chiefs team, but it is Germany, so
I already, started already diving into next week. It does seem like that. I agree with you. I think a win for them would be a very big outcome, almost a shocking outcome for me. Yeah, if you're a Dolphins fan, you hate that the Chiefs lost this.
Oh
week.
yeah, you do not want to face the Chiefs
That
off a
was
loss.
No bueno.
Jets 13, New York Giants 10. Amazing back and forth affair. Almost set a record for punts in a single game. So Ryan couldn't even get that. Couldn't even
Colby
bring home a
didn't
record.
text me once about how great the game was. That's how we know he doesn't watch.
At one
NFL.
point, they were combined 0-16 on third downs. It was rainy. It was ugly. Literally,
yeah,
no one deserved to win this game. It had tie written all over it, and then the Giants would have covered the +3.
Tyrod going out obviously changed the game. Probably a different outcome if Tyrod doesn't break his ribs or whatever, or fucking lacerate his liver or whatever the fuck happened. Tyrod, one of the most comically injury prone players in history. If you look at his like games and how many times he was knocked out of games. Again, I don't know how you lose this game. If you just looked at the numbers, if you just watch the drives, how do you lose this game? I don't know. And the sad part is there's going to be no accountability because of injuries. At least that dude Gunner didn't fumble the ball.
No, he did fumble. Didn't he fumble it out of bounds?
Yeah, that was
you being sarcastic.
All right, was it the one thing I was getting excited about?
Yeah, Ryan was really excited about this
I'm
dude
excited.
Gunner.
New punt returner. That's the best thing I've seen all week. Every Steelers fan just slid right into the responses. This guy fucking sucks. Cool. Moving
Just
on.
don't fumble. Just don't fumble.
At least
I fumbled, but at least he fumbled out of bounds.
Yeah. This is what I get for locking up Houston and Atlanta. This is what. Yeah.
Ryan, all three of your favorite teams lost today. Which one was the most heartbreaking? They're asking in the chat.
The fact that Arthur Smith didn't have all the good plays ready for
well,
Mike
let's get
Vrabel.
to it. Atlanta Falcons 23, Tennessee Titans 28. I was convinced that the Falcons as a non-conference road favorite was the play. Super sharp handicapper talked me into it.
So dumb.
And my theory of Desmond Ridder sucking, I think, came through here. So at least I have that to hang on. But Will Levis just lit it up.
He had a concussion.
But he fumbled before that.
Oh, you're
right?
saying he sucked before he got
Yeah.
injured. Got it. I wanted to make sure you weren't slandering an injured man.
No, I'll slander whoever I want. Desmond Ridder sucks. The Falcons suck. The NFC South continues to be wide open.
No, the best team is clearly the Saints. Like they're fucking about, and they're not playing any good football, and yet here we are.
Look out for those Bucks, Ryan. Tennessee Titans 28 points. Will Levis balled out, setting records for passing touchdowns in his first game. Ryan, I'll let you take it from here. You've been a man that it was skeptical of Will Levis, to say the least.
Well, so in the moment, the takeaway is, all right. I mean, again, you saw those silly plays that he was able to make. The silly plays that people were like, ooh, the reason why he popped up is like, oh, maybe he'll be the first pick overall. And then eventually wasn't even close.
Yeah.
The good plays looked really, he was the same guy he was in college. And so I think in the moment I said, oh, wow, I clearly was wrong about Will Levis, or at least how bad he was going to look in this game. On the flip side, if you go look at the numbers, it's like, oh, okay. So he still only had a couple really good plays. He just didn't have the really bad plays, but the rest of the time he was like not very good.
I mean, when the Titans came out in those awesome Houston Oilers throwbacks, yeah, I knew it was cooked. I knew this.
That's very controversial.
What?
That they're wearing another city's uniform.
Yeah, I could see that, but
every other team does that. I don't understand why people are mad at that at all.
Well, I don't think the Baltimore Ravens would wear a Cleveland Browns throwback, or vice versa.
I definitely think there's probably instances where a team that has since changed names and uniforms has
cities. Where I think what's controversial is that other city has a team.
Okay. I'm going to actually do some research on this, because I feel like this has definitely happened before.
I don't think it has, because I think you're thinking of like, if the Lakers wore a jersey that was like the Minnesota Laker, like I think it's a little different.
Okay.
But I can't think of another instance where a team wore a throwback jersey to a city that has an active team.
Well, the obvious ones would be like teams that have already moved and maintain the same franchise.
Yeah, which would be
like Rams or Raiders.
Yeah.
Like that they're wearing a uniform of another city.
Right, but like if the LA Rams wore a uniform that was the St. Louis Rams, but St. Louis had a team, I think that's what is throwing people off.
Got it. Maybe. I also think people just like to get mad.
I wasn't mad. I was mad. I bet on the Falcons. That was the maddest. I was mad that I let sharps around me talk me into the Falcons.
It was the right side.
No, no, it was not.
I'll be
it was
back.
nowhere
I'll
close
be
to
back.
be the right side.
I'll be back.
Minnesota Vikings 24, Green Bay Packers 10. I'm mad at myself for not locking this up, not getting more money down on this Vikings team, who by no means didn't look good, but it should have been the fate of the Packers. We realized the Packers were that bad when they lost to the Broncos. The Broncos who have now won 2 in a row, but the Jordan Love and the Packers are just horrific. Green Bay Minnesota didn't even look that good. Kirk Cousins out for the year with an Achilles, so
this division's a fucking mess.
Tough.
I mean, Detroit is just like, all right, so we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Does Detroit even have to try that hard to get into the playoffs at this point?
Does Detroit kneel the ball Monday night? Just come out, start kneeling the ball.
I mean, I'm being dead serious now. Like, where's the competition coming from? We're talking about Jordan Love sucks.
Yeah.
The Vikings are now dipping down to a backup quarterback.
I mean, the Vikings are only, they're what, a game and a half back from the Lions, but Vikings are 4-4, Lions are 5-2.
But listen to this Lions
before
schedule.
the Monday night game. But the Vikings have no quarterback. They don't even know if they're going to start Jaron Hall.
The Lions have the Raiders at home, then at Chargers. Then they play the Bears, Packers, Saints, Bears, Broncos, Vikings, Cowboys, and Vikings. That's one team that's in the playoffs right there. Maybe the Saints, if you want to count a second.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna playoff Dan Campbell, baby. Jared Goff
got his
back in the
caffeine
playoffs.
ready. I mean, as an Eagles fan, maybe I'm worried about the Lions for the number 1 seed. I know everyone's talking about the 49ers. They've fallen off. We'll see what happens with the Cowboys, but the air could be getting thin pretty quick here at the top of the NFC, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? What's the disease they found at the Rio? Leprosy.
Oh, Legionnaires.
Oh, disease. Legionnaires disease. All over Jared Goff Sox Island right now. Cannot take any new customers. It's full blown. I know what you did last summer.
Cleveland Browns 20, Seattle 24. Browns didn't cover the number, pushed maybe dependent. We had it 3.5.
Did it stretch out to 4?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
We're hanging out with Brendan Walsh. I think he might have had a 4. He pushed it. So it probably and maybe a 4.5 out there. It really feels like, I don't think if you're on Seattle, I don't think there are many 3s there. Either way, this was just a back and forth ugly game with Geno Smith really trying to lose this game, continually trying to write back, but ultimately PJ Walker forcing the ball late with an interception was the difference.
Geno
in the
writing
game.
back, baby.
But I mean, I feel I was on the show I took Browns plus 3.5, and I still feel pretty good about where my handle on both teams. Like that really, it was just that last backbreaking turnover, but Cleveland kind of was in control of the game for a good portion of the second half. I understand what Cleveland is. I think I got a handle on games that can hang around. They certainly did in this spot. And same thing with Seattle. I think Seattle is a solid team. They're not a great team, although they are leading the NFC West right now. I'm skeptical of them going up against good competition. I think that's gonna, hurt them. And I think Geno Smith is a real liability on the field.
What place are they in the division?
First.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, as a way
for guys who wanted to fade the 49ers, it's been a nice little run here past few games.
Yeah, we're getting to the middle of the year, so I figured we might want to pop back into the futures markets in the upcoming weeks to see how we're doing. And I did remind myself that Seattle was one of my. They looked all right, but this Cleveland team, man, we really nailed the handicap this off season. Might be good enough to make the playoffs without a quarterback.
Yeah.
We didn't say without a quarterback, but with
Doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
I think it does though, and I think if this team had kept Brissett, like not even bullshitting, this is a team that we're talking about is like potentially having the best record in the regular season.
Yeah, it does feel like
if they just had a quarterback that could make the throws and not make stupid mistakes.
They just need, and I like PJ Walker in the XFL, but if they just had someone slightly better than PJ Walker, slightly, and you
mean like a guy who would be have the most guaranteed money in the history of the NFL?
No, but I mean like,
he's not better.
To your point, Jacoby Brissett, like a vet that could maybe not turn the ball over. I think could be big, maybe even a Minshew type guy. It feels
Mitchell
like
Trubisky. This team wins the most games in the NFL.
I watch. We'll get to him in a second, but I watched him in the second half.
Who, if you had to put one quarterback on this Cleveland Browns team, who would it be?
That could win this game?
No, just in general, like someone that was probably very available.
Wentz.
Carson Wentz, you think?
No, I'm kidding. Well, but he might be better than PJ Walker. No joke.
Kirk Cousins on this Browns team would be pretty.
Oh yeah, healthy Kirk Cousins probably perfect. And I grazed over it. Steelers did not get the win. Jacksonville 20.
Fuck.
Steelers
we gotta quit
10.
the Steelers, Sean.
No, we don't.
No.
Well,
okay.
if Mitch Trubisky is playing, we have to quit the Steelers. This was setting up to be the perfect Steelers game. It was an ugly 9-3 half, and then Steelers kicked a field goal to make it 9-6. They get called back from penalty. They don't get it, but still, it doesn't matter. They're hanging around, and then Kenny Pickett goes out, and Mitch Trubisky comes in. You're like, okay, Mitch can do this. Mitch got hey, all right. It was 17-3. Mitch got to a touchdown. They're 17-10. Steelers get the ball back. Hey, Mitch Trubisky, he's not much worse than Kenny Pickett, and then he throws a horrific interception into triple coverage, and you're like, all right, yeah, he is worse. He is worse. So I think the Steelers team again, not a giant adjustment off of who I think these teams are. If Kenny Pickett's healthy, I don't know if they win this game or cover, but they're certainly much closer. Like Kenny Pickett does not throw into triple coverage like that, and that ultimately was the play that changed the game. And it felt like their offense was kind of coming around. Minus the horrific quarterback play from Mitch Trubisky.
I think Kenny Pickett had some bad moments too, but I agree. Mitch, I'm going to call him. He also had some moments that Kenny Pickett wasn't going to give you, like some of those, when he used his legs.
Yeah, but Kenny Pickett can do a little bit of that.
He's not quite as electric.
He did have a couple running for the first downs, but I would like to have seen this game with Kenny Pickett healthy the entire time. I'm not saying they definitely cover and win, but I think it's much. I think they're
Jags did their part. At the end of the day, it was ETN who didn't get all the way up the ladder, but
they turned the Jags over, which was what I thought the key was. But they just couldn't give those turnovers back, and that's where Trubisky came.
And at the end of the day, it was ETN. It was partially in the running game, also in the receiving game, but that's been their weakness this year.
True. Hats off to the Jags. That was a nice win for them in Pittsburgh.
So backup quarterback had to come into this game. Coming back to our conversation.
Yeah.
If you had to guess how many quarterbacks, like people designated as quarterbacks, have thrown a pass in the National Football League this year?
So 32 teams.
32 teams.
Okay. I'll say,
and I'm saying thrown a pass.
Are we talking about receivers and running backs throwing passes?
No. I just said designate, like their position is a quarterback.
Okay.
So Taysom Hill is on this list.
Okay.
But other than that, the rest of them are all really quarterbacks.
Let's say 95 people.
90. You're saying 95 people have thrown a pass that are quarterbacks.
So
that would go way against their injuries are way down this year.
No, I never said injuries are way down.
You said quarterback injuries are way down. It's way ahead of last year.
No. I said like devastating quarterback injuries to marquee players are down.
Okay.
I'll say 50 guys, 50 quarterbacks.
So the number is 55.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
That 2 quarterbacks per team have attempted a pass.
Yeah.
That's almost Why would your backup ever play?
All the time backups play.
Okay.
It's a 17 game season. Guys are always getting nicked up. You're in a situation where you're up big. You know, you get a little banged up. Like this is the NFL, Ryan.
Again. So what do you think that
you
number?
Check for a concussion.
What do you think that number was for all of last year?
I would say 65.
It was 81.
Okay, so yeah, we're below pace probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Point in
Sean
my favor.
always right. Green.
No, but, all right. I'm not sensing the same catastrophic quarterback issue that you're sensing.
Okay.
Denver Broncos 24, Kansas City Chiefs 9. Chiefs do not get the win, do not get the cover. Not many people actually had them in the Circa Survivor, so that was disappointing. I just was kind of on this game, just an autoplay of the Chiefs. Hey, they own the Broncos. It was due to run out at some point. This apparently was the game. Mahomes dealing with flu-like symptoms. I don't know if that mattered. Maybe it was.
It definitely mattered.
Did it?
Yeah.
No, I mean
they won. The reason that the Broncos won this game is because the Chiefs offense got into the red zone 3 times and got 3 field goals. That's why.
Kyle in the chat pointing out Sean is hammered. I was pretty drunk when the show started. I've been sobering up throughout the show, but cheers to me and to you, Kyle. You thought it was just as simple as him not being able to play through flu-like symptoms?
No. You said it had no impact. I'm saying it definitely had some impact because they were scoring 3 instead of 7.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was more the Broncos defense than it was the Broncos offense to me that won this game.
This was just to me. This was just like, hey, a division game. I mean, there was like a muff punt for a fumble. That to me is not about Mahomes having a flu game. It's just you play the same team enough times, eventually you're going to win the game. You play the Kansas City Chiefs 16 times in a row, eventually you're going to win a game.
But I'm back to the flu. If your quarterback is down because he's sick and you're already looking ahead to a spot in Germany where you're going to be eating delicious sausages, maybe maybe there's a little bit of a let up spot there. True. Because you're playing a shitty team that you just beat 2 weeks ago. But he was still like
24-38. I don't think he looked horrible. He did have some turnovers, and maybe that was because he was dealing with the flu.
I mean, I certainly think. I mean, he got tackled by his own offensive lineman. That was pretty funny.
True.
I think the whole team just looked like they had bigger fish to fry next week. You didn't feel a little bit like they kind of looked like a team that was lackadaisical, like they weren't using all their best stuff. They weren't clearly coming to like be home wreckers.
No, but to me, it's due to happen in the course of it's a division game. Broncos are going to get up for this spot. Them looking ahead was a part of it. Certainly
first time the Broncos had beaten the Chiefs since they won the Super Bowl. I think Peyton Manning was the quarterback. So shout out to him.
Yeah. So I think it was more about just the Broncos were due eventually to win a game. And yeah, Mahomes.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as it being due in that sense. This like they came in flat because they were looking ahead. Their quarterback was a little bit sick, so they weren't as sharp on offense.
Right, but I think like they muffed a punt that set up the Broncos. Like that to me isn't about flat. Mahomes.
That's not you're not focused. You're not as focused as you should be as a team. That goes across everyone.
Or it could just be you played a team 16 times in a row, and eventually you're going to get those fumble muff punts going your way.
So you're calling for rivalry regression.
Yeah, I would like to. I'll bet on the Chiefs next time they play the Broncos.
Okay, but that is you might argue against yourself that would be a small sample size. They're not yet due to win another one. Broncos got to get a couple more.
How so?
Well, because they're still due.
Oh, I don't think they're due. I don't think the Broncos team is that good. I think this is a division situation. So you're high on the Broncos moving forward?
No.
Okay.
No, I was saying this was a flat spot. You're the one saying that they were due, and I'm just pointing out that they might be due again next time because the streak was so long.
Got it.
Okay. You want to talk about the next game, Sean?
Sure. Cincinnati Bengals 31, 49ers 17. I should have made it my lock. Should also made it my dog. Bengals just came in and moved the ball very well. Brock Purdy, coming up small. Couple of really bad interceptions. Joey Burrow as a dog. What are you guys doing? Oh, he cleared the concussion protocol. Awesome. Can't wait for Joe Burrow to slay him. Yeah, this is. I know some people. Producer Josh got in on the Bengals as a future bet Super Bowl.
Yeah, 40-1. Maybe some people got 40-1. They look good, but who knows? This is week 8. Doesn't matter. In 3 weeks, they might look like shit again.
I don't think so. I think this is. We've already passed the Bengals like looking like shit, and now they after the bye.
Yeah, maybe. But
really good.
I'm reflecting more on the season. Like no one has played consistently for more than 3 or 4 weeks in a row, and so yeah, I'll be impressed if they're able to do it. They looked good. They did it against a good defense. Clearly, Brock Purdy wasn't healthy. So either Kyle Shanahan doesn't trust Sam Darnold.
Why didn't you think Brock Purdy wasn't healthy?
Because he played like shit.
Oh, okay.
You don't think he played like shit?
No, I did, but
the Bengals give you stuff. The Bengals give you exactly what the Niners usually take.
I don't think he looked unhealthy playing. I think his advantage is his sharpness in his mind.
Like everyone talked about his fucking S98 5432 score, and it's like if that's truly his advantage, that he's like so super sharp, he can get the pre-snap read correct, and he's able to adjust on the fly. Then if he's a little slow, maybe
I just don't think he's that good.
He threw back-to-back interceptions. Exposed. That's a sign that you're like something's not right with your processing.
Right. But if you have Brock Purdy ranked as a really high quarterback or as a really good quarterback,
he'd played really well up until this point in the season. Over the last couple weeks, like since the concussion, basically. But he's slowed down over the last couple weeks. I'm just saying he didn't look like his.
They lost
self.
the game before the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
They lost the Vikings game, and they've lost 3 games in a row. I guess I don't think Brock Purdy. I don't think this was an off game for Brock Purdy. I think this is who Brock Purdy is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think he looked different in this game than he had previous.
I think he looked pretty similar to the guy we saw in Minnesota and the guy we saw in Cleveland, and even some of the guy we saw. I mean, with the exception of like the blowout game against Dallas, which I thought he looked really sharp. I think this is kind of how he's looked. Like the turnover thing has been a thing now for a month straight.
So it's Debo.
No, I just don't think Brock Purdy is that good, and he's slowly getting exposed.
That's what I mean. Debo's been out most of this time, and there's correlation there, but is it related?
No, I think it's more about Brock Purdy getting exposed. I don't think he's that good.
Cool. Yeah. Nothing to add. Burrow looks good.
Ravens 31, Arizona 24. Ravens do not cover the spread. Arizona, of course, recovered the onside kick late, kicked that field goal to backdoor it. Not much of a game. Arizona continues to hang around in the first half a little bit. Even this, they didn't win the first half. Ravens fortunate there on the one Lamar Jackson fumble that got overturned, but
it was a fumble too.
I don't know how they overturned.
I don't understand what the refs are doing.
That looked pretty
couple like that today.
That looked pretty clear as a fumble, and to overturn it, I was genuinely surprised. I don't. To me, Ravens were always coming in winning this game. Arizona fortunate to get the cover there on the back door. Not a lot to take away from this game.
Maybe they were fortunate.
Who's fortunate?
They just were on the positive end of a bad coaching decision.
What?
By Nelson Aguilar being out there.
Who was fortunate?
Oh, never mind.
No,
we were talking about this earlier in the show, and I was just calling back to it.
Okay. No, I mean, so in this case, yes, I think the Ravens were fortunate, the Cardinals were fortunate to cover because of, you're right. The Harbaugh putting Nelson Aguilar on the hands team was a poor coaching decision. I stand by that.
Yeah. He did recover the second one.
So 50% is a good number for onside kicks.
I'm just saying.
It is literally the hands team. You do not want Nelson Aguilar on your hands team.
Okay.
So you're putting together a hands team. You put Nelson Aguilar on it.
No, my argument was just that recovering an onside kick is a fortunate event. That's how it all started.
Fortunate? No, recovering an onside kick is the expected event. If you're the Ravens.
Recovering an onside kick for the Cardinals, the ones kicking the onside kick, that would have been a fortunate event. That was my argument. And so by the Ravens not getting it, that was very tremendously unlucky, like a 10-1 long shot unlucky.
Right. That was set up by a really bad coaching decision.
Okay.
Chargers 30, Bears 13. Chargers get the win, get the cover. Like we said, Tyson Bagent, the game after the game, special Bagent 17. Although I'll say this about Bagent, I thought he didn't look horrible. I thought he had that a couple of really bad drops from the Bears offense. I thought he actually threw the ball decently. It was more just about the Bears defense really falling apart, missing guys in the back end, just continuing not to look great.
Man, they suck.
Yeah, no, I mean the Bears suck. So,
and Staley wanted to keep his job.
Did he? I guess he did. But
Decker was living like just not worried at all. He's like, oh, if we win, it's great. And if we lose, then Staley gets fired.
But yeah, I don't want to bum Decker out, but the Chargers are so cheap. Staley could lose, and they're still not going to fire him because he has guaranteed money. They're not going to pay out a guy not to coach the team. That's not how the Chargers do business in the NFL.
Probably right. Same with the Raiders. That's why the lock is Ron Rivera.
Hey, let's talk about some Monday Night Football props, our first touchdown bets, and teaching only parlays. And of course, if you're getting down on these, you got to head over to Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Hall of Fame Bets just makes it easier. You can hit that deep data button. You can look up any sort of data you want. It makes putting together parlays so much easier. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets.
What do you want to start with here?
What do you like props wise, Ryan?
All right. I'll give you an under first. Josh Jacobs under 61.5 yards. I don't believe I could be off on, I might not have last week's data, but I don't believe they've given up a rusher over this total all season, a primary rusher. So I think once again, we're going to see, it's probably a little bit of a gimmick because of Lamar Jackson probably escaped the filter, but I think this team will get back to what they've been doing, which is they're going to shut down the opposing team's running game, and that's what they weren't able to do against Baltimore. I'm sure Dan Campbell. We didn't hear any reporting of the Oklahoma drill, but I imagine they've been getting to work. So Josh Jacobs in for some tough sledding, and he hasn't exactly looked good since the holdout. That's what he gets for not working out with the team in the off season.
No, and Zamir White keeps getting more and more work as the season goes on. I'll go over to Devontae Adams over 5.5 receptions. You got to lay some juice on that. I still like it at 6. If that's where you're seeing the number, 5-2 on the over, 5.5 plus there. Lions defense, I think there are opportunities to throw on them. Jimmy, this is just like a target thing as well. If you're playing over an underdog, you can bet the targets, which is also fun. But Devontae Adams is just a dog, and whether they're going to trade him or not, he's still just like the guy you got to throw the ball to. So Devontae Adams over 5.5.
They don't have the targets on the up right now, unfortunately.
But I don't know if they had him earlier, but they definitely have flashed some target props.
I think they do. I got to imagine they got to do that closer to game time because there's so much less variance there. But yeah, you took the catches. I went 76.5 yards. I mean Jimmy G being back and they're going to be stubbornly working the running game, which means there will be some play action and there will be some stuff for Devontae Adams to take advantage of this defense. I almost went to the Jacoby Myers as well because it just seems like it keeps happening, but we'll save the Jacoby Myers talk for another part of the show because I do think Devontae Adams is. Josh McDaniels would be fucking stupid to not just force feed him. I mean, see unless you're tanking, who knows what there was reports that Mark Davis and McDaniels did have a meeting.
Closed door meetings.
I don't know if the door was closed. It could have been a hallway meeting.
Could have been a Zoom or a Skype. A Michael Mayer over 21.5 receiving yards. This to me now, last game against the Bears, he only had 2 catches, 13 yards, but before that, 5 for 79, 2 for 39. It seems like he's become a bigger part of the offense here as things have kind of shifted. I think we get Jimmy G back in this game. I think we get the high scoring, high variance offense. I mean, 71%, 81% snap share past couple games. He's out there a bunch. He's clearly a big part of the offense. He can get this in 1-2 catches. So 21.5 feels very doable for Michael Mayer.
Yeah. I was surprised to see how little Hooper's out there. It didn't seem like it was going to happen that quickly.
No. And yeah, I was skeptical of Mayer coming into the season, but he clearly has kind of stolen the job from Austin Hooper. And I don't know if they've adjusted pricing wise. So,
and just the quarterback, I think just having I hate to compliment Jimmy G, but he's probably an upgrade over those other guys.
yes.
Brian Hoyer, especially. Jahmyr Gibbs over 26.5 receiving yards. Patrick Graham's defense is going to let you check it down to the running back, and I think they'll have a decent amount of check downs, and just the way that his coverages will force the ball to the low A dot stuff. So I think for Gibbs to be out there as the primary guy and the primary guy in the pass game stuff, 26.5 receiving yards. Kind of saw him have a blow up game. I know some of that was in garbage time, but I do expect that even Dan Campbell will realize that getting his weapon X into space and dropping the ball down is probably a good thing. So over.
Yes. I'm looking up some of the chatter in the chat, right?
Well, while you do that, I'll bring Easy on so we can get a Lions prediction from him.
So real quick, what would you rather have in the chat? Everyone's saying, "Oh, McDaniels feeds Jacoby Myers more than Adams." Would you rather have Jacoby Myers over 4.5 or Devontae Adams over 5.5?
Adams.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with Adams.
I like Myers too,
but yeah, I don't. Yeah, and especially with Jimmy G healthy, I think both could hit, especially on the catch market. Joining us on the line super fan Easy. What's happening, Easy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Ready for this game tomorrow?
You worried at all?
No, not in the slightest. That's Jimmy G.
It's true.
Any final score prediction? Any props? First touchdown? What do you like for the Monday night game?
Yeah, so I got a few props for the score. I think it's going to be 24-14.
Raiders win.
What do you say?
Raiders win.
Yeah. No, there's no chance the Raiders win this game.
So 24-14. So maybe slightly lower scoring than some could think, but Monday night has been kind of lower scoring.
Yeah, I'm just going off of prime time for that, for the lower score.
Yeah. And what do you like? What do you like prop wise?
Yeah, so I found a few props that I didn't think y'all would have. The first one kind of going off of Kramer with Gibbs receiving yards. His longest reception is over 12.5.
I almost like that better.
I mean, we do a lot of screen stuff, a lot of check down stuff, kind of like you said. And, if we get backed up to like a, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, there's a good chance that we throw one of those screens for him to try to get the first down on.
I like it. I mean, and I like I was saying, I think Patrick Grant, I think the Raiders defense will allow that. So the volume is going to be there.
Well, especially with all our receivers being able to make their way down the field like they do. I mean, we have Amon-Ra going down. Jamison Williams is getting a lot more playing time. Sam Laporta can level the field out. So the middle of the field should be open for him in those situations.
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad we're talking this out. More Jahmyr Gibbs stuff. I'm going to do that. I'm going to tail that longest catch.
And then the other one that I like is actually Jamison Williams. Like I said, he's getting a lot more playing time. His yardage is over 25.5. He's our deep threat, and I think that he can get that in one shot if we give him another chance at it.
Yeah, and I was my initial thought was like, oh, and we'll get to first touchdown in a bit, but I was like, oh, that he's an interesting guy to look at, and then it's like, bang, 11-1 plus 190 on the anytime. I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're factoring that in.
But yeah, I like attacking his. Well, and like your would you take are you going to take his yards and longest reception?
I'm just going to take his yards because I feel like taking his yards at 25.5 is basically taking his longest reception because he can get it in one play. But you also have a shot of him covering that with a couple of like slants or something. So you kind of have a 2-in-1 with his total yardage.
As longest catch is 15.5. Also was just perusing the ladders. Some really nice ladders here. Jameson Williams alt receiving total, Sean. They are cowardly, only giving us a 7-step ladder, and the top step's only 70 yards. So, but Easy may be interested to find out that it is 8-1 on the top step, which feels like 2 catches.
I took a long look at 60 yards.
Oh, 5-1. Okay.
Yeah, I like that one because, like I said, if he catches anything, it's most likely going to be a bomb.
Yeah.
And then maybe 1 or 2, like I said, like slants or an out route, something like that. So if he catches a 40, 50 yard bomb, and then he gets a couple of little first down passes, then that's your 60 right there.
Yeah, we might have to craft. We have to put a ladder together on tomorrow.
Stay tuned for some ladder chatter. I like that.
Yeah, and then one more real quick. You mentioned him first touchdown at 11-1. For whatever reason, towards the end of games, we like throwing to him even more. Him to score the last touchdown is also 11-1.
I mean, I kind of like him having a coming out party here. Max in the chat saying there's no way Easy's from, and he called you a bloke, by the way. No way this bloke is from Detroit.
The pond.
I'm not from Detroit.
Where are you from? How'd you become a Lions fan, Easy?
Yeah, so I actually live in Virginia, and growing up, I didn't have a football team, so I just always pulled for the underdog. And then we had that 0-16 year in 2008, which ultimately got us Matt Stafford. So during that year, we had Javid Best at running back. If y'all remember Javid Best,
Cal. Yeah, he was CTE.
He was just like unreal good, but he got like 5 concussions in 3 weeks or some crazy shit. So my first NFL jersey ever was a Javid Best jersey, and I became a fan after that. Just like slowly, like every week, I'd be like, "All right, just win a game, and they never did. So I became a fan.
You sound like Colby. You and Colby would be good friends, Easy.
I like Colby.
Yeah, good guy.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Easy. Good luck to your Lions as long as they don't cover 8.5.
Appreciate y'all, and we will.
All right, take it easy. Can't go against the close your eyes special, Ryan.
I'm not.
So where are we at? So gave out a couple props. I'll give out my third one here. This is an underdog special. I'll go Jared Goff lower, 70.1 completion percentage. One, it's just fun to bet on or to have action on this in one of the pick'ems. He's only gone over this twice this season. I just like my chances at Jared Goff under 70%.
What's the best way to protect yourself from Legionnaire's disease? We just talked about this. The whole island shut down, Sean. What are you doing? You're going up for a little weekend soiree? Just gonna shotgun some beers by yourself?
You could have a good game, but 70% is tough, man.
They were I was just Googling Rio Legionnaire's disease, and they're doing a news story, and the place is clearly very empty, but you just see a person in the back playing slots.
Yeah, they'll have to crowbar the slots players out like.
Are you sure I want? Oh yes.
Probably playing one of those hot NFL slot machines. Oh, and we haven't even updated the audience. So everyone knows on the first night I tried out the NFL slot machine. I put in $3. All right, did a $3 spin.
How's the slot?
Turned that into $1,000. Then I went back to that same slot machine, selected the Eagles, won $450, and then this past Friday went on another run where I won another $400. So it's just so easy, Ryan. I have a great slot strategy. I'm just counting down the days till Friday night where I can play my machine.
I gotta be honest. So not only you got to pull back. Not only is everyone else I've ever watched sitting at that, it's a quad machine. So there's 4 seats.
Yeah.
I've never seen
It's like
anyone
the
else.
four-quarter
I've
calzone from
never
Little
seen
Caesars.
anyone else win. First, second, we get there, and Sean wants to play the machine, and it's busy.
Yeah.
And he's waiting, and they're doing some maintenance, and the guy working on the machine walks over to me. He's like, "I'm really sorry, sir." I'm like, "No, you're gonna want to talk to him." Guy walks over to Sean to explain to him he couldn't use the machine, or he could use the machine anyway. Then the ride began. I mean,
then they eventually let me use the machine.
Well, they
went
got
on the heater.
They got a call from upstairs. They're like, no, let him in.
I think the machine is. I think there's a chance that machine is broken, and I love it.
Yeah, you were almost getting tired of winning. It was like again.
Oh, it is. It's exhausting work, Ryan, but someone has to do it.
And your transition, and ever since you realize that the slot play has increased ever since you took insurance on the blackjack table. Some have been asking if you've graduated.
I have been watching some slot strategy videos.
The same thing happened to Dick Olson, and now he's a
full-time slot jack.
If it's possible to be addicted to slots, he's addicted, which is brings up an old story from back in the day. Ex-girlfriend worked with this lady. She had a very humble job. Some sort of blue collar work in a vet office, but she was getting like flown out to the win for weekends in Vegas. And finally we get to the bottom of it. High limit slot player. Guess how much she would play per slot spin? I'll give you a range. It's between 0 and $100.
$100?
No.
What? $50?
$25 a spin. So imagine like that machine you were playing.
Yeah.
You're playing penny, and you're ending up with $3 worth of spins. So imagine a quarter times 300 on each spin. Holy shit!
So she's playing $25 a spin.
$25 a spin times 300. Like, so imagine your machine.
Oh, okay.
So $25 times 300.
Nice.
That's like 7. I mean,
#Legends only.
Anyway, yeah, like disappeared one day. Can't imagine it was a good story. All right, you want to do some first touchdowns?
Yeah. What do you got?
You go first. That was good luck.
Devontae Adams. It's chalk, but
is it chalk?
Maybe a little contrarian.
The price is 12 to 1.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
he's on my list too.
Rarely I go chalk, but he's right up there. We gave out Josh Allen last on the Thursday night show at 8 to 1. And sometimes you gotta have a little chalk in your bag.
I noticed Adi clipped it, so it appeared like you had Josh Allen.
Well, he also included my anytime.
No, I know. I know. Just seemed a little one sided. Devontae Adams is a great pick at 12 to 1. I co-signed.
Jared Goff 25 to 1. Still like him as a rushing quarterback. Still has a couple of rushing touchdowns.
The Legionnaires disease is getting way too much play here. You keep going back to the island.
Yeah, well, I have under completion percentage, but I think
these are all island plays. He's playing well, so he's going to have a high completion percentage, and he never
low completion percentage.
No, I'm saying he's playing well, and then he never rushes the ball in the end zone.
Never is that's a crazy statement, Ryan. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns this year.
I know. If we zoom out far enough, it's a relative never.
No, I mean,
but I like that you're going back.
The sample is great because he doesn't have a rushing touchdown for 2 games. Rushing touchdown. Doesn't have a rushing touchdown for a game. Rushing touchdown. Doesn't have a rushing touchdown for 2 games. AKA gonna have a rushing touchdown. Yeah, it's simple science, right? You got to find the patterns. Next up, Khalif Raymond, 28 to 1. He's a guy they still like on those deep shots, and he's involved. 28 to 1. I like that price for Khalif Raymond for a receiver that I know Jameson Williams is kind of getting worked in more, but the fact that Jameson Williams' price is 11 to 1 and Khalif Raymond's 28 to 1, that to me feels like a misprice. Whereas Jameson Williams is the more exciting guy, but if you look at snap share, routes run, Khalif Raymond at that price, I think is a better value. Last but not least, Zamir White, 50 to 1, first rushing touchdown. I think he's going to continue to nip away at Josh Jacobs' carries, snaps, and more. You saw it last week, and I think there's value in getting ahead of it this week. So yeah, Zamir White 50-1 for a touchdown.
Spicy. Yeah, I mean, he seems like the kind of guy that we should be making sure we're picking up in fantasy.
Yeah.
Second Josh Jacobs goes down. It seems like he's going to pop a bit. Don't hate the Khalif Raymond one, but in the research, because my eyes immediately scroll down the board. I mean, if anyone wants to understand the process of how I go through first touchdowns, and shout out to the people who believe me when I say I have a system. But you scroll down, you kind of just visually you look at the board and you just ignore the favorites and just you scroll down to that 15 to 30-1 range. And so Khalif Raymond popped out, and what came out, what surprised me in the research was not Khalif Raymond last week, who got the only red zone target, or not the only, didn't get a red zone target. It was Antoine Green that stood out to me, because he's the replacement for who? For Marvin Jones.
Oh, okay.
He's 35-1 this week. So I actually thinking that you might have one of these two guys. I came prepared to have Khalif Raymond or Antoine Green. So give me Antoine Green. I also think Craig Reynolds at 14-1. It's same story. Montgomery's not going to be out there. Not sure Gibbs is going to be the guy that gets the carry if they are in the red zone. So I'll take a stab at Craig. I mean, Gibbs being 5-1 also. What are you? Come on, guys. Craig Reynolds 14-1. As you mentioned, Devontae Adams 12-1. I like that one, and I'll play some. We'll call it insurance, but give me Jacoby Myers 16-1. They do like to jam it to him around the goal line. So
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
and I think pretty simply that back shoulder throw is not the forte of Jimmy G. So getting that out to Devontae Adams maybe is less desirable than Jacoby Myers just getting open in the slot.
One more note there on Zamir White. Not only is his offensive snap share going up, but his special teams snap share is going way down. 42%, 33%, 44%, only 4% last week against Chicago. I think they are working him out of special teams, working him on to the offense.
Well, is that like him returning kicks or him like in other capacities?
What do you mean?
Do you know like what his role is? Like, was he a returner that's no longer returning the kicks? Or
not off the top of my head. I just know he went from one special teams play last week to, or the week before, 11 special teams plays. So I think he was like doing punt gunner and I mean, if you're 11 plays, it's not just return, right? So you're involved on the special teams.
He's the plan for when they get rid of that replaceable commodity known as the running back.
Well, and that goes to my DGens only play. Just give me Zamir White 2 touchdowns, 120-1.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That to me is, yeah, let's roll the dice there. I'm feeling pretty good.
So it's interesting that Serial called in with a pro Jamison Williams take, because I was blown away by the latter.
Really? Because I looked at the first touchdown price, and the first touchdown price was so short, I backed off it. I didn't dig into what the laddering price is.
I think this is one of those guys where, like he was saying, if he's being worked in down the field, I know he got a weird short target in the red zone last week, but if he's getting worked in down the field, and I'm actually let me see if I tie this. I'll tie it into what I was going to originally do. But if he's getting worked in down the field, I don't see how or why. I mean, I understand why they're not offering a huge top end of the ladder, but why even is 50 yards 5-1? What am I missing here? Oh, and these cowards are not offering it in the same game. Oh, here it is. No, all right, we're tying it back up. So if you Jamison Williams. Sean, what do you like more? 50 yards is plus 310, 60 yards is 5-1, 70 yards is 8-1. To me, you don't even have to get crazy here. You can just do I'm going to do the 60. That easy. When Easy said that, I was like, all right, he was speaking to me, because I was looking at this. Jamison Williams to go over 60 yards, 60 or more yards.
Okay.
Gibbs. Again, we like the check down stuff. We think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for the check down stuff. And so I tied it up with Jahmyr Gibbs receptions. And then, because Sean, what do we love to do? We love to do a little counter correlation. I put the Raiders in the points.
So what is that?
Close your eyes special.
Okay.
Gibbs gets three over 3.5 catches. Jamison Williams goes over 60 yards, which again, I don't, his yardage total is just so wonky to me. That's 15 to 1.
Book it.
Is that enough for you?
Yeah. I mean, mine's 120 20 to 1. Yours is 15 to 1. That feels about right.
What does that mean?
No, I'm saying mine's a DGen only parlay.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag Legends Only.
If you got a 15 to 1, then there you go.
I think the chances of my 15 to 1 are good.
You think they're better than my 120 to 1?
Probably. Unfortunately, Zamir White scoring 2 touchdowns is gonna be tricky.
How so?
Oh, he's got to get in the reds. Got to get those red zone carries.
Yeah, they might give it to him. I'm trying to get ahead of. We see this all the time where a running back gets banged up or loses favor.
No, he's
and Josh Jacobs has not been efficient.
No, he has not. But he's
like if McDaniels comes out with a game plan where Josh Jacobs' workload's reduced and Zamir White's increased, there have been stuff that we're seeing that are trending in that way. I'm not shocked at all, and I love those prices.
Oh no, I like it. Should have been on Gus Edwards 3 touchdowns today.
No, that would have been beautiful. Hey, thank you again, as always, for tuning in to Sports Gambling Podcast. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/MMA hoodie. Sign up for the MMA Gambling Podcast over on YouTube. Those guys are the best. If you're looking for some action when it comes to fights.
And good looking guys.
And good looking dudes. Ryan's into that. We got a week of shows coming up. We got college football, NFL picks, DFS. We got a bonus Breeders' Cup episode. What else is coming up, Ryan?
I don't know. There's horse talk this week.
Yeah.
I've read reports that we could be covering the opening day of college basketball later this week. Maybe that means we'll cancel some football talk. I don't know.
No.
Then everything else that we normally talk about.
Ryan's trying to cancel football, not me. Eagles are 6-1. Let's fucking go.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second money green. He's Ryan.
You owe me $200 from our horrible DFS lineup this morning.
Kramer, let it ride.